Let's talk about owning property. For so many of us, it just feels like this impossible dream, right? Like you have to save up this mountain of cash all by yourself. But what if I told you that the path you've been shown is, well, it's just wrong? What if there's a blueprint out there that could change the entire game? Let's get into it.
You know that feeling, right? You're scrolling through listings, you see the prices, and your stomach just drops. That sense of being completely priced out of the market, it's real, and millions of people feel it every single day. It's so frustrating, and it can make you feel like the whole system is just rigged against you.
And then you see a number like this, $500,000. Honestly, it might as well be 50 million. It looks like this giant, insurmountable wall with a huge flashing sign that just says, nope, not for you. And for most people, this is where the dream just stops, right here, staring at this incredibly intimidating number.
So why does that number feel so impossible? It's because of a huge misunderstanding. We're calling it the 100% cash myth. It's this belief that to buy that $500,000 house, you need, well, $500,000 in cash just sitting in your bank account.
This is the thought that runs through almost everyone's head. And look, it makes sense, right? If a coffee costs $5, you need $5. But property plays by a totally different set of rules. It's a whole different ballgame.
So what if that whole way of thinking, that whole mountain you thought you had to climb, was just wrong? Because there is another way. There's a blueprint that smart investors have been using for decades to get into property without saving up every single penny themselves.
And here it is, the 20% capital blueprint. And this isn't some pie-in-the-sky theory. This is the actual practical way that real estate investors build their portfolios. It's all about taking your focus off that massive price tag and zeroing in on a much smaller number.
And this is that number. For that same $500,000 property, your real target isn't $500,000, it's $100,000. Now look, I get it, $100,000 is still a lot of money, but it's not an impossible wall. It's a clear goal. It's something you can actually aim for. This 20% is the key that unlocks the other 80%. So you're probably asking, how is that even possible? Well, the whole blueprint works because of one incredibly powerful financial idea: leverage. The concept is actually really simple. Leverage just means you're controlling a very large, very expensive asset with a small amount of your own money by using someone else's money, usually a bank's, for the rest.
Okay, so you've used leverage, you got the loan, you control the property. But now you've got this massive debt, right? That's the catch. Well, this is where the blueprint gets really clever, because it's designed from the ground up so that you aren't the one paying off most of that debt.
Let's just walk through the steps. It's pretty straightforward. 1. You focus all your energy on saving that 20% down payment. 2. You take that 20% to a bank and they lend you the other 80%. 3. You find a great tenant to live in the property. And 4, this is the magic part, you use the rent money they pay you every single month to make your loan payment to the bank.
Let's look at how the money flows, because this is where it all clicks. The tenant pays you rent, say $2,500 a month comes into your account. Then your loan payment for $2,500 goes right back out to the bank. The income covers the expense. It's a self-sustaining financial engine. Now, of course, there are other costs like taxes and maintenance to plan for, but the core idea is that the rent handles the single biggest expense for you.
So let's just let that sink in. This is the most important part. Your job was to provide the spark, that initial 20% capital. But the fuel that keeps this engine running for the next 20 or 30 years, that comes from someone else, your tenant. They are literally buying the asset for you month after month after month.
You know, understanding this isn't just about learning a cool financial trick. It's about a complete and total mindset shift. It's about going from thinking like a consumer who saves 100% for everything to thinking like an investor who uses a little bit of capital to control a big asset.
And the difference is just night and day. With the old mindset, property is this huge boulder you have to push up a hill all by yourself. But with the new investor mindset, it's an asset. It's an income-generating machine that you can control with a lever, and it basically pays for itself over time.
All right, so let's boil it all down. What do you need to remember? First, forget the idea that you need the full cash price. It's a myth. Second, that 20% down payment is your golden key to getting a loan. Third, the rental income is the engine that pays down that loan for you. And finally, all of this is possible because of that incredible financial tool called leverage.
This changes everything, doesn't it? That mountain that seemed impossible to climb, it suddenly looks a whole lot smaller. The goal isn't out of reach anymore. It's just been redefined. So the only real question left is, now that you have the blueprint, what's your next move?